Tana Gertz's story is one of success and independence. Tana, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tana, I know we both served on the advisory board of Women for Trump, which was such an honor, and I'm so glad we got to become friends through that. I loved how we got to travel, really empowering other women, speaking to them, encouraging them to use their voice to vote for their values. But tell me a little bit about yourself, pre The Apprentice, pre getting into a lot of these things. How did you start your first business?
Well, thank you for asking. My first business really started by tapping into what my God-given gifts were, and they were always people. I love people. I love meeting new people, and I also have the gift of encouragement. So I love to encourage, whether it's the underdog, whether it's the sad, depressed person that I meet. I just love helping other people feel great about themselves. And my business started really from putting my passion with really my purpose in life and making that my profession. And it kind of led from one thing smaller to the next thing to, Mary Kay sales to now being a life coach and encouraging other people that they can stand up for themselves. And so it's always been the same thing, but it's kind of grown and developed into what you know me to be.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about being on the show The Apprentice. What was that like?
That experience being on the show was so memorable. I learned so much, not just about myself, but about other people, type A driven, motivated, ambitious people, about our future president, Donald Trump at the time. I learned about him. I learned about my strengths, my weaknesses. It was grueling, but it was life changing. And to have an 18-week job internship, more or less, with Donald Trump back then was amazing, and it changed my life forever.
Wow. So, what was he like back then, and what did you think when you were working with him at the time?
Back then, he was exactly what I wanted to go and learn from. Everybody asks, "Why did you go on The Apprentice? Did you want to go be famous? Were you trying to sell something?" And the reality of why I went is I wanted to learn from America's business icon, Donald Trump, what it takes to be a huge success in life. I looked up to him as an entrepreneur. I read all of his books. I was motivated, was always driven, and I just wanted to be better. I wanted to take everything that I learned from him in his boardroom back to my businesses and put my business on steroids. And it did just that. But he was so direct, which I am. He was so driven. He was so smart. As you know, he's aware of everything. You wouldn't think he knows the details that he knows. He loved our country back then. And I just got to love the man for who he was as a husband, a father, a grandfather, and a businessman.
Did you see